All right, so we're back. Bit of a wait, and I am back. Hey, but
Heyo.
one person is still here with us,
Yeah, hi
Mister.
everybody. Here as the relief squad this time around, letting Eggman have a little bit of a break as we drop into our top 8 match. And this time around, actually a complete 180 flip from the previous matchup, top 16. We ended up having the Zoro versus Kaido. This time around, we will be spectating Doffy versus Ustash Kid.
Yeah, and this is actually two people we know. One that you guys know, which is Matthew, who is on the Blue Doffy player. Really good match last time we saw it. He really pulled through in the lines of play that we saw, and it was a really good match.
Hmm.
And the other is Nico, who is actually in our Stage Zero Discord. A little bit of a shameless plug. He won our
Circuit tournament.
circuit series. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we did 4 different tournaments every week, and he ended up getting all the points and all the wins, and got a box, which is pretty sweet. So hopefully we do that in March, and hopefully we see him win in this matchup as well. So we're gonna go ahead and give him a thumbs up and go right into the match for our top 8.
Yeah. From here, honestly, played. I actually ended up playing back-to-back Doflamingos in my first 2 rounds of Swiss, and it's definitely a deck that you have to think twice or thrice about. You know, which ways did they stack to top of the deck? Which ways did they do things at? I do think Red definitely has the benefit of being able to deal with their blockers in a way that doesn't trigger their abilities. Whereas I think Green, because the inherent fact that you're committing down their cards and then attacking into them means that they're still going to get their proc. So a little bit more thinking on Nico's side in regards to how Matthew's going to be stacking up his deck and then making the decisions from there.
True. Yeah. You know, that is the thing about Doffy, right? With Nico opening up with 2 different Bonnies. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. You get one blocker out there, you're probably going to resolve one. Doesn't look like he's going to get both, with Teach coming out and returning back to his hand. But yeah, totally. With Doffy, you have to think about, well, both of you have to think about everything, right? Don't let
Mm.
Doffy get aboard. You have to swing face at the right times, and with this sort of curve starting already, with him, I believe, going first, that 7K swing and a board and a character for one, it seems a little scary already. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Dofi is definitely one of those decks from the experience I've had playing it that like you don't want to go 1-for-1 with it because it'll win that tempo battle.
Yeah.
It'll see more cards. It'll set you back too much.
Mhm.
So on that front, you definitely want to be able to, as quickly as possible, deploy big threats that they can't deal with and multiple of them. And if you can get into that position, you're in a very comfortable spot.
Mhm.
Otherwise, they just stabilize really well. So we're gonna have to see here how Nico gets around kind of the board here, and
Sure.
Killer will be one way to get there. Without a bounce, it does mean that potentially we'll get another usage of our Bonnie here and draw an additional card. So
Yeah. I'm actually surprised he didn't protect the Teach. It was just a
mm,
5. Well, never mind. It was a 6K swing. I just noticed that.
yep, the one Don.
That one Don. If it was a
Yep.
5K swing, probably
Here's
would have
the
been a lot better.
Perona.
We're going to go into Bonnie, which both of these are 2K, the Killer and as well as the Perona, so it makes sense just to swing at it. Nothing lost, nothing lived. We have,
Looks like we have a Mihawk. We got another Perona in hand. We got 2 Kumas.
yeah, not too crazy. I think those are 2 Pacifistas.
Pacifistas, yeah.
With 1 Kuma, I think. If he has that 1 Kuma, he might just hardcast it, depending on what he did with his top rearranging, because he might just swing this 2. Oh, never mind. He's gonna go ahead and play the Pacifista.
Pacifista, yeah.
All right,
And to another Perona.
nice. All right, well, okay, well, I'm just gonna keep pressing buttons, I guess. I think just really depends on what we see these next couple turns for Matthew. Obviously, this is kind of singling like, hey, I don't really have that much, but I'll hopefully with this Perona set it up where I can get a really good board state, and as well as use my leader ability a
Yeah,
little bit better.
I think Doflamingo falls into similar to Law, one of those decks that I would be apprehensive to take to a long tournament like this one, just because it's like asking so much of your memory. Like, hey, remember like
Yeah.
how you stack these 5 cards on top of your decks, and like,
Yeah.
oh, if for whatever reason you prevented me from getting a draw, what does my stack look like now, so that
Yeah.
I can get my top triggers off? So it's definitely one of those. And if anything, huge shout outs to the 3 players who ended up making it to top 16 with the deck, because like
Yeah.
it's one of those that requires the push mentally to be able to get to this stage for sure.
Which is crazy because we talked about the character breakdown a few times now with only what is it 40 Doffy?
Yeah,
40
I think that
Doffy?
gives Doffy the best conversion rate in the whole day.
Yeah, outside of Luffy, right? So
Mm.
Luffy Doffy is man, that is crazy.
It is crazy.
But I think both those decks, including Law, just like you're saying, takes a little bit of skill, a little bit of piloting, a little bit of understanding of what you need to do. And I
Yeah.
think Matthew has obviously has already shown us before in the previous turns and or rounds, I should say, that he knows exactly what he's doing. It's just with this one, not the best start. Not the best start.
A little bit slow, which is kind of where like Blue Doffy doesn't want to be. Again,
Yeah.
you know, if that 6K ends up chilling on board, that could wreak havoc on the entire board and be very troublesome. So we'll see if the Basil ends up sticking around, because if it does, that's a huge tempo swing.
Yeah.
If he's got the Basil and then he ends up setting up the 8-drop kit as well,
Sure.
Nico would be in an incredibly solid position.
Yeah. I think having Basil out for a lot of different matchups, like I can't like the mirror is really good. Kaido is really good for Basil.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only matchups that are kind of weird, a little difficult, are red. And it's just like putting them on a jet pistol. And honestly, you know, if they jet pistol your Basil is not the end of the world because that's one less for any.
Yeah, and
else.
usually like a jet pistol is like half of a red player's turn. So
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. Totally.
so you're making them commit basically to the entirety of the removal.
Yeah.
But we did see here the Doffy bouncing the Basil back to hand, so that's a good tempo right there.
Yep. All right. Looking at the top 5 for the Bonnie, or with the Bonnie, got the Beige, which I assume he probably doesn't need another 8-cost kid.
I does have the singular one in hand.
I think he does. Yeah, he does. We saw it
Mhm.
flash by our eyes as he shuffled his cards at supersonic speeds. Love these custom sleeves, by the way. They're it's the Bonnie art.
Ah.
I think it's the alternative Bonnie art that's not released just yet. And I'm pretty sure he got that custom made.
Good chance.
Going 6, probably to the Pacifista. Try to get 1 card out of Matthew's hand. Because I don't imagine him going face here.
I don't think so either. I think like this is a matchup that's decided through board control. You
Yeah.
just need to be the one that has the stronger board.
Here's the thing, though. Like, Nico's already
Oh,
up
never
to-
mind.
well,
We're just wrong. We're just bad.
I mean, still. Here's the thing. Like, there's been so many instances throughout the day today where I'm like, okay, yeah, he's just gonna go
Do this
you know,
thing.
go for that or the board control. But doesn't seem like that is the case a lot of the time. People just kind of go for face, which, hey, they're in top 16 or top 8.
They know what they're doing.
They know what they're doing. They know that face is sometimes the place.
Yeah, I was talking to Egg about this in the last round, where the biggest distinction from like the top tables are making the 5% decisions that go for the win, as opposed to elongating the game, right? Like you
Sure.
can play to not lose, and like
Yeah.
sure, maybe that means you play another 3 or 4 turns, but that might just be a slow spiral to a guaranteed loss, versus playing to the actual out that'll get you the win. And
Totally.
getting them to a life total that you feel like you can pressure board enough to be able to get them there definitely does it. And that's what we saw in top 16 with Kaido's game 2. So let's see if Nico can kind of put himself in that very same position.
And it looks like he's just gonna Mihawk right into something really important, which is that law.
Yeah, right into the law, bottom of the deck. Not going to see that again.
Yeah, that's a bummer. That is a bummer, but that's okay. Okay. So swing with the Pacifista. Oh man, going down to 0 cards in life. Is that right? Oh wow. That is something. I think this is kind of dangerous at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we're losing tempo fast here. You got blockers, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, this is exactly where Doffy wants to be, right? And now you can start playing that stacking slow game to put yourself in a position where you're just going to do incredibly well. So, and we're going to hit the beige off of the Bonnie,
Okay.
which is fine. And
Oh,
there it
here
is.
goes,
There's
here's
the
the 8.
boy.
So this is not a terrible position to be in.
Well,
with
yeah,
two killers on.
yeah, you're protected by the 2 blockers. You have a sizable hand. I mean, that has to be like, what, an 8, 9 card hand?
Yeah.
And then we play out the beige now. So now we're sitting behind 3 blockers. Yeah, so I think to really play it out, if this kid can survive this turn, it'll be an in for Nico to kind of switch the pivot of the game to his direction. How badly do you think you protect this kid?
I mean, this is all you got. This is literally all you got. Like, there's no if, ands, or but. Like, you're at 0 life. You got 3 blockers with the kid. This is it. This is all you got. So, we'll see. We will definitely see what comes out of it. And Matthew's bored, surprisingly, out of nowhere. Well, not really out of nowhere. I think it just like slowly trickled into something.
Yeah, just tempoed into it.
Pretty dang good.
But yeah, I totally agree. You defend this kid as much as you can because it's much easier to defend an 8K than it is to defend a 5K. So
Right.
But and then it's like, what does Nico have to do with the turn after that? And it's just, hopefully he has the continual ability to have the defensive hand while being able to start poking over at Matthew's life.
Right.
All right, and here we've got the Pacifista swing. And we will protect with the Bonnie.
Okay.
And then we got the Dove.
Doffy swinging 8 into, I believe, the kid. Sorry, that's the only thing he can swing into. As the beige, I'm just gonna say that. And the 2 killers still. The killers don't have any done, so probably the beige, or just a 2K counter. All right, running out of space, so he has to get rid of the Prona.
Yep.
And this is the Kuma that can play another Pacifista. We didn't see the other Pacifista. I don't believe he ended up using it. Excuse me, to get out of counter, but I think we're good to play another.
Yeah. I mean, step 1 was making it to this turn. So here we are. We have Dawn now, so if we have any event cards in our hand, they're definitely going to be able to help us survive. So the name of the game here is basically, can I get rid of this A-drop? And the 7 can definitely make that more difficult. But that is the singular name of the game at the moment. Very much, who can will the 8K be able to survive, or will it just be dealt with? It's the back and forth on that specific card. And then the game of inches within that is the fact that we have, additional blockers. So how do we get through those guys without losing too much momentum here? So this is where this matchup lives and dies at this point in time. And it's why Nico probably took all those hits and went down to nothing to establish a big enough hand, knowing that this was the centerpiece of this matchup for him.
Very true.
Also, just give us a moment, guys, in terms of the audio. We're currently getting it fixed up. Apologies for that. Maybe recommend lowering the volume just for a second while we figure it out.
Yeah.
Apparently we're fixed.
Yeah, I think the audio is fine. I think it's just duplicated a little bit, but
Could be.
okay. As long as you guys are good and you guys can hear us and it's not like too crazy,
Yeah.
then I think we're good.
We
Just let us know if there's any other issues.
yeah. If anything, guys, it's been a miracle that everything's worked for as long as it has all day. Um,
Yeah, let's just knock on the table real
Knock
quick.
on whatever this table's made of.
Uh, Plywood.
It was base boosted, bro.
Yeah, maybe a filter somewhere that was being crazy.
Nah, man. The Focusrite knew we were in top cut. It added the wubba wubba.
Oh, please. I really hope not. I truly hope not.
I do believe that is a Hawkins on our side.
Yeah, that is it should be Hawkins. So he played out the Hawkins. He still has the 8-drop kid on board with the Dawn underneath. And I believe he's going right back to Nico. You know what's funny? I ended up seeing this sort of match with Nico in our circuit where he basically did the same thing. And, well, another Mihawk comes down, so never mind. This is probably his second and only other Mihawk in the deck. So at least Nico doesn't have to worry about it, but he also now has to worry about dealing with two Mihawks. So
They're big, dude.
it's
Um,
not the biggest, but they're still 9 costs.
I mean,
or 9
they're
Ks,
I mean
right?
they're enough to threaten the 8 cost kid
Right.
uncontested, right? Like you don't need to dedicate Dawn to it, which means you can commit like your pacifistas to him now. So
Yeah.
the more turns that Nico here can utilize Bonnie to be able to get either blockers or combo power to extend the longevity of this 8-drop. It's chipping away. But the life total for Matthew still at 3, which is comfortable. So
Yeah. I mean, one thing to note is that this Bonnie has not yet died. So
that's it. Like the
That's-
longer this Bonnie lives, like, and you kind of have to, right? It's like
yeah.
you can only attack the kid, which means the longer that thing lives, the more you can replace the cards that you comboed away, which means the longer you can do. So this is a very good. This is the exact setup that kid wants. It's just about how long can we maintain it.
Yeah, I think he needs to get rid of a. I mean, yeah, I think he has to get rid of one of these Mihawks, but I think it's gonna be a little difficult in general. It's gonna be the hard decision of seeing if he wants to commit to face or the board, and I think he's just gonna commit to face.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the little weird things is that Matthew is now forced to play this board, and they're all like really good characters. Like they're all um, 6K and higher.
Yeah, they're super solid bodies. All right.
Which means, like, if he wants to play another one, he has to get one removed, and he's just taking all these hits. It's very possible that I think Nico's trying to set up a play where he can survive next turn, somehow, some way. I don't know how, but put himself in a place where he can just use his leader and or another card to take game. Which here comes another a killer, which is cool. I think he has one more blocker in hand. Last time I saw.
Also, thank you to all 700 of you viewers out here with this Top Cut with us. Thank you so much for being with us all day. And if you're new here, welcome to the Top 8 for the Long Beach, California Core TCG Treasure Cup. A lot of exciting gameplay here.
What he said. Thanks for watching. It's been a long day. You know, we for those who weren't with us before, we are playing all of Swiss. It was 9 rounds of Swiss with Law undefeated in Swiss, and now this is top 8. Same day, same thing, right after. So these players are playing a lot of rounds. I gotta tell you, and they're still playing at a high level. Which, as you can see, we're trying to close this one out on both ends. That Pacifista is not gonna do it. But we're going to see if we can try to get rid of this kid. Which is the story of the life for a lot of people playing against Green Kid.
Yep. Bro, and if this kid chills here, we got another Bonnie drop. Ooh.
Yeah, but I think Nico's going to smell blood next turn.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you can deal with this A-drop, at this point, you just start swinging for face, dude.
Yeah, I mean, 8s are cool here, but I don't think that's enough. I think you go 10s with the Mihawks. And then you go 8s with the
I agree.
Others, but
get the chunk of the combo. I mean, like it could be like, nope,
yeah.
we're just going 9s.
Wow.
I do think you did. Well, look,
I
it depends
mean-
on what he wants to play out of his hand, but
Yeah.
I do think you need to force 2Ks out of his hand, not just like.
Yeah. I mean, we do have a Paradise Waterfall, I believe, which is technically a 2K, but it's gonna restand something else, hopefully, which is probably the Bonnie. So.
I was about to say, you stand the Bonnie.
Yeah.
It probably doesn't matter because as long as the 8-drop lives.
Sure.
All right, we'll block with the beige.
Which is fine because I think you block with the killer tier 2 here, only because Mihawk is the higher power versus the Doffy, and he can return it with Teach, which Matthew probably would have done by now, but I also believe that Nico's putting on him of saying you don't have it. He also still has Leader Swing, which says a lot. He can play a Perona or something else because he already swung with the lower ends here, and then go into a Teach. But it looks like he's just gonna say, "Hey, swing at me."
Okay, here comes the Doffy.
Nico's hand is not looking good though. Although he has a lot of cards in hand, they don't.
I don't know.
look
Yeah, I was about to say
great.
I don't know how much of it actually combos. None.
He just doesn't. He just doesn't have the counter power.
So he's gonna have to pay the 2.
He can. He can Paradise Waterfall as well. Like
Yeah,
you
I
said.
mean you just have to, right? Yo, you.
I mean, this is fine though because
Yeah.
he only has one more attack as Doffy. You don't really get any other attacks outside of your lead, so you can get rid of this kid. I mean, that's fine. Yep, that's what he's saying. I don't got anything else. But
Yeah, I mean that's just it. That's it. Like have it. Yo. Whoo.
There's like a perfect amount versus this with this board versus his hand and his board and blockers and ACOS kit. There's a difference. There would have been a difference if he had a Teach. He had a Teach or something else that removed one of those blockers, and it would have made the entire difference. Because like Nico's hand was just
All right.
not
Let's see.
hot.
Let's see if Kid does what Kid does. Is that enough?
I know. I
No, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that.
That's enough. I don't think that's enough. Because I think you got 2 swings here, so yeah, that's
and that's it. That's it.
game. So that's what I was saying. Like if he had one Teach, something to remove one of those blockers, he would have been fine. He would have been perfectly fine. So that's crazy. That's actually crazy.
Yeah, can we confirm who? Because I think Doffy had enough, but I'm not entirely sure.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, I'm just gonna put this.
Yeah. Like we're gonna clarify for you guys real quick. We're gonna, but yeah, like
he got there as exactly 13. Well, he had 2 swings, right?
yeah, and that's the. All right,
Doffy
so
won? Okay,
Doffy
Doffy
did
won.
have enough combo power there, so the concession
Okay, I was about
from
to say.
Nico. So Doffy up 1-0 versus Kid here, having enough combo power to deal with it. But like the fact that from that kind of a board state, Kid can still threaten game.
Yeah, that was crazy, right?
The leader
He was
being able
there.
to swing twice is so broken, dude.
Yeah, he was almost there.
True champion Steven was actually telling me during his rounds, he was on Kaido, and he said that 2 turns back to back in one of his rounds, all the opponent did was swing twice with Kid, and it got there.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, the leader's good. He'll just do that sometimes.
Yep.
So incredibly close match here.
Just as a quick reminder, Matthew does come from another kind of smaller card game, but he seems pretty good in that one. But he started playing 2 weeks ago, so.
So if that says anything to you guys who are looking today and thinking that you can't be here, you absolutely can. And if you put in the work, the time, and you put enough passion behind the deck that you're playing, you can reach these kinds of heights yourselves.
Totally, dude. Totally. It's pretty crazy. And he seems like a good guy. And I think he's 1 win away from top 4. I mean, top 8's pretty good pricing, to be honest, because you get the Luffy card, the serial Luffy card.
The serial Luffy. Everyone on top 8, I believe, gets the Zoro.
Yeah.
So everyone here is up on terms of they got the Chopper, the Usopp, the top 8 Zoro, and very soon the serialized Luffy.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. That was a wild little first match.
How about we start a prediction, guys? Who do you guys think is going to take this game? We gotta change it. We I'll let Brian figure it out.
A little late for a prediction.
Nah, we'll do it per game. We'll do it on a per game. Put your channel points on the line, boys.
It's okay. Who wins this for next game? Game 2.
And then we'll do it again for game 3. So now that y'all know the decks, y'all know what you're betting on. Put your channel points on the line, baby.
Okay. I think there's definitely a big bias here.
It's just this game, not the match. Just the game.
All right. Okay.
And then you guys can make Egg hydrate a bunch during his weekly streams.
True. You turn it off now, I think.
Oh no! Well, I turned on predicting.
Yeah, we're doing predicting.
So they get to gamble their channel points. Yeah.
No.
Hey, look. If they're spending their points on hydrates right now while we're here, that's on them.
Yep. Looks like Kid went first. Got a Bonnie already. And Doffy is just sort of just chilling. No Perona, I don't believe. And if he okay. This is the Advita? I can never say her name.
It's the power of the card search.
Yep. Yep. You know, card search is only good if you actually know the name.
Well, I mean, it's a blue card. It costs 2.
Yeah, man. Let's go figure it out. Someone in the chat, can you say it before I say her name?
Alvida.
Alvida. Alvida on board feels great. Yeah, she has a when attacking, may trash one card from your hand and return one of your opponent's cards with 3 or less back to the owner's hand. Seems
Good
like
tempo.
Really, yeah, good tempo. It seems like a good sideboard card if we had sideboards in this game.
Yeah. Sure. Especially in like this kind of a matchup where like Kid likes to sit on its stuff.
Not to mention, like, if he does swing with the Alvida here, that Bonnie's gone. I think, or that Okiku. I think Okiku.
I think you deal with Okiku. That thing can be like so disastrous to your board.
Yeah. I think you should have swung with the Alvida if you're gonna commit to that one, because you can get rested by Punk Gibson, but does not look like that is the case. Okay, so Gecko comes back in with getting back the Boa, I do believe. I think I may have missing that one. Let's go back to Nico. You can hear him laughing over there.
Name's Alvida. All right, Alvida. Got it.
Okay.
Bro, that's what chat's telling me.
Yeah, but we got the card up already. Thank you, chat. I appreciate you guys. But I think we got it.
Yo, she's got a nice cowboy hat.
Yep. For sure. I think
all right.
we're gonna swing.
Here's the Moria.
I think yep. There
For
it is.
any of you guys who want the VODs, they'll be on stage 0 on YouTube following the event. So just keep your eyes open for that. We'll definitely let you guys know in the community groups when they go live.
Should be sometime this week, hopefully early in the week.
And if you want it instantly, you can get immediate access to the VODs via subscriptions. Eggman does giveaways throughout many of his streams and gives back to the community as much as he receives.
That's right. He's not here, but I'm gonna say he's gonna agree with you. There you go. These testimonies, huh? I think I get what I paid for. Okay. You guys can't hear him, but he's super satisfied. Bonnie's gonna come in here, looking at the top 5. Gonna get the
law.
Didn't really see too much. Saw 2 Beiges. And I think we have a Nico, the ACOS kid, another law.
Can you imagine that law was $5 all of like a month ago?
This is true. It's true.
What an incredible card.
Yeah. I mean, I like the law. A lot of people see it as a 1 or 2 of. I
think it's a 4 of, dude.
I was gonna say, I was like, if I was really crazy, I'd probably put it at 4.
Yeah, dude. Oh, I don't know about this deck. I'm not a Kid player, so I couldn't tell you. But like, dude, I love this card. It's so good.
The sensible me says 1 or 2 is fine.
Yeah, I think 2 in Kid is just fine.
Yeah. I just like his effect a lot. A 6K blocker is really cool. Only downside is Jet Pistol, and sometimes it's just a little awkward to play. So, you know, those are some downsides, but you do get a lot of upsides by playing him. Comes the killer. No down underneath, but it doesn't have 3 characters anyway. So we're gonna see if this helps him out a little bit, especially from this pacifista. I think he's probably gonna swing or take the swing if he does swing. Okay. The traditional hide my hand.
Yeah, as soon as the camera shut, dude, they sense it. I'm telling you.
Every single time, man. All right, we're gonna take the pacifista swing, like I was saying.
No trigger, Momo in hand.
I mean, he has plenty of counter power this time around, which is nice. comes another 6. Interestingly enough, he said if you take the first 6, I'm swinging for another 6. Trying to bait out the law, which is what he's gonna block because he knows that he's not gonna have another swing with it, or another swing in general. So it's not like he can just put a lot of Dawn on something. Well, I guess he can put it on the Alvita, but okay. Looking at the top 3 with the Doffy blocker.
Beige is pronounced begay, like vegay. All right, cool.
We've had like 4 different pronunciations.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
All
going
right.
with the one that every single time.
All
Every single
right.
time.
I bet.
I'm gonna go with the one that feels good, or is in the dub. Does that feel good? Is that proper?
Yeah. Oh, now we got beige. Oh, okay, it's all over the
Just
map
call him
now.
Just call him Capone. Because you said that, Pac-Man, I'm not doing it.
Yo, Biggie. Yeah, I'm okay with calling him Biggie. I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, Biggie, not bad. Being the letter G, okay.
Well, bagel.
Bagel, yep.
Yeah, at this point we're just throwing letters.
Well, Matthew's just trying to figure out what he
Yeah.
wants to put on the top 3, because he did play the 3-drop Doffy, and really trying to figure out, like, literally doing card math here and saying, hey, I'm gonna have to figure out my next like 3 or 4 turns,
Mm-hmm.
or at least 3 or 4 draws.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's the thing with the Doffy deck, right? Like, Kid is the deck I think you think 2 turns ahead. I mean, everybody thinks 2 turns ahead, but specifically because of the way that Kid has to play defensively, you think 2 turns ahead. Doffy is actually like, what are my next 3 turns?
Yeah, pretty much. And it's funny. It's interesting here. We actually saw him almost play the Fat Pacifista.
Yeah.
So he was saying like, okay, do I value more of a blocker that can potentially draw for me later, or do I value another attacker that's a 6K? And I think the attacker is probably a little bit better with having the higher life total, and also having another pacifist on board. So I guess we'll see. He does have to protect this one that's on the board already. And he says, I'm just not going to use it. Here comes the 8-drop
All right.
Kid.
Here's the boy, and
Yep.
you just sit on it.
Yeah, because he's at, I think he's at 9 since he went first. I might be wrong.
Bro, so like in this position, okay, so we're almost back to the same position, and I think Doffy will get rewarded for this if you just go Burr, right? Because like again, there's a good chance that Nico ends up taking some of these because he
Yeah.
wants to have a big hand to defend the 8-drop like he did last time. But he's got good bodies right now to be able to kind of pressure. So we'll see how much he's able to either get out of hand or force Nico down in life. Because again, once that
Nico.
Kid becomes rested, where it's a battle of who can I deal or not deal with the 8-drop.
And this Mihawk is a very good clap back to his 8-cost Kid coming down. Very good. And now it's just sort of a standstill, a little bit of a Western shootout of, okay, I have Kid. If I swing into it, Mihawk is going to swing into it. If you swing with your Mihawk, I'm putting everything on my Kid, and I'm going to swing into the Mihawk.
Yep.
So it's going to be a little interesting to see how Nico decides to extend his board this next turn. But can't guarantee any good results because Mihawk kind of says no to everything.
Yeah.
And he lost his law.
Yeah, that's a pretty big deal. So it's like he has a higher health buffer, which means the game's not completely over if he does end up losing this Kid. But we saw
he's at 3,
that.
I think, right?
Huh?
He's at 3, right?
Yeah, he's at 3 life.
Oh, so
Yeah.
it's 4.
No. Okay, so Nico's at 3 life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
Matthew's at 4.
yeah. So what I'm
okay.
saying is Nico has the life buffer this time that he didn't last time when he was sitting on the 8-drop Kid.
And now he has
But now he's going to 2.
So.
But like 2 is significantly more, right? So it means that like if he's got a big enough hand to defend the 8-drop and still have some life buffer if it ends up being in a sticky situation, he doesn't have to go for like the all or nothing OTK and not be able to kind of get there on combo power. So a lot of opportunities there on Nico's side. But again, Matthew, depending on how he strings together his plays with Don Queequee, is in a very interesting position.
Yeah, I think Matthew's just in a good spot here. He just like every single time he's been on stream for a match, it just felt like every single time I just kind of look away for a minute, and then like my brain comes back and looks at his board, and it's just better. It's just like significantly better. He's never like super behind, and I think that's what like a good Doffy player does. Like he he can kind of plan out his next few turns, establish a board, and then like answer a lot of different things
Mm,
um, that come their way. Which I think Matthew doesn't play the 5/7. I think he plays the Pacifista and Kumaline, which is technically one Don less as far as commitment, and has been doing a little bit of work. He's been getting a lot of value out of it with his laws just being taunted
mm-hmm.
because it's 6 to 6, and he's getting a lot of 2Ks out of hand without too much of a Don um, commitment. So doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
Yep. Got another killer out here. So decision now is kind of like, what is he going to be doing with the state drop? Because eventually he does need to start applying pressure into Matthew, or else the advantage Doffy is getting will eventually get there. But we do have the swing here with the restand.
Nice. Okay. It's interesting. Um, I don't know. I guess he does reswing into the boa
Right?
because it's just gonna give him more and more value as it stands.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
let's
that's
die.
it. So Hancock goes down.
He's gonna go ahead and swing into life here. It looks
Yeah,
like
yeah. You gotta start chipping away at it.
he's gonna take that. There's no doubt about that.
All right. So now we've got the rested Ustish here, going
Yeah.
to act like a deadly defender and force everything to have to attack into it before Don Quiqui here can apply pressure onto Nico.
Don't know if all of viewers know what a deadly defender is, but
Deadly Defender is a term from another Bandai game that effectively says everything needs to swing into this card before you're able to attack any other card.
yeah, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a couple of choices. I was gonna say, like, if he wants to commit those two Dons for another blocker, it's not gonna be too big of a deal. Again, it's just Matthew knows what is in his next few draws. Where,
Yeah.
okay, do I need to teach, which I've said this many times, or do I just need to finesse my way into him blocking, which I think that's what's gonna happen. So I think this is gonna be easy counter out. Yeah, it's gonna be easy counter out. He's not even gonna bother putting a Don underneath the Mihawk, which I don't particularly agree with, but it's been working, so
Mm-hmm.
that's fine, I guess.
Yep. And for those of you who are just joining us now and would like a quick buffer in terms of the format for Top Cut, where it is a best of 3. So in terms of the tiebreakers, they break down on a match basis. So if the players are still on games 1 or 3, it goes through once time is called, which is an hour for best of 3. It goes through life, then who has the most cards in deck, then cards in play, and then finally the last one who has taken a life will be the victor. If they are on game 2 when overtime is done, whoever has won game 1 will lock it down. So currently, we've got Matthew in a winning position. They still have a lot of time to play through, but that's how it will break down if that ends up coming to it in the last, after these 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think Nico does have to, wrap it up a little quickly though. And we have to teach. I saw your comment, Pac-Man. Don't worry. We are gonna return the killer, which is gonna be pretty detrimental. And honestly, you turn the killer, I can just counter out with it. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you do that, especially if you have other cards in your hand that you don't really care about, which we can't really see here. But he does have counter power. It's there.
Yeah.
It's definitely there. It's just depending on what he wants to use. Okay, that's okay. I literally said this. Like, hey, you return it back to my hand. I'm just gonna use it then. I don't I don't think that was the best case scenario, but it worked out, I guess.
In terms of if they're mulliganing into game 3, I believe that the way it plays out is the first to take damage.
Sudden death. I think so.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I believe it's the first one to take damage
Yeah, pretty sure.
loses. And of course, thank you everyone here for joining us today. 760 viewers. It's been an amazing day. Huge shout outs to both Brian and Eggman, who held it down for 9 rounds of Swiss and then immediately into this top cut with your boy here, Spirit, to kind of help out wherever I can.
Yeah, this is Spira on Spira TV on YouTube. Some people have been asking in the chat who are the commentators, and of course myself, Brian. I've been doing all the Swiss rounds, just like he was saying, on Stage 0. You can find me on YouTube. All of the VODs will be on that YouTube as well. So if you're in a bad place for the connection, or if you can't hear anything, you can always check that out. Of course, Egg has the VOD after this. In case you miss anything, you just have to be a subscriber for it. So help the boy out. He's been working hard, and I don't mind any of it. And helping, that is. Well, thank you for joining us. We're gonna see if we can close this out as Kid. 3 life is a lot, I gotta say. Got a blocker, I got return to blocker, and I at least still have this Bonnie on board, which is nice, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just the continual draw, right? Like, it's the whole game with the A drop is how long does it survive?
Yeah.
But the beauty is the longer it does survive, the longer this Bonnie just chills, which means you're actively constantly replacing the counter power that you're using to defend it on board, which just like super extends your longevity. So it's an incredible card to have in this specific position.
Right, exactly. Okay, just deciding what he wants to do now. On both ends, honestly. Got a Mihawk. Got a Kuma. Same old cards we've seen. Ooh. I think that's a Straw Sword, right? Pretty sure that's a Straw Sword. A lot of people are in between on Straw Sword. I personally love the card out of one of. I'd like to hear it from you, chat. How do you feel about Straw Sword? Only downside of Straw Sword is the trigger effect.
Are you about it?
I love Straw Sword because it just says no to everything, especially in the mirror. You just Straw Sword
Right.
their 7-drop.
It does hit everything. That's pretty.
does
It
hit
hits everything. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, going right back to Mr. Matthew. Sorry,
Pivoting
I wanna
over
say
to the egg
Manuel.
real quick.
It's been a long day, guys.
Just a quick update from the other side of the bracket. So we have the top two of the others for the top 4. It's one of the other Doffys and as well as Luffy. So I think that's the match we're going to cover in the top 4. So those are 2 undefeateds. We have this match going on right now, and the last match being played right now is Trafalgar Law, the first seed versus Usta's Kid. So
Cool.
Pretty diverse, and
This has been a great event, honestly. It's been a great event as far as like the diversity, a lot of really good players, to be honest, and a lot of really good matches.
Yeah, it's the diversity
Believe
has
what
actually
is
been nuts. The pie chart looks crazy, and then even beyond there, kind of how we're developing, from 6 Luffys to kind of like this diverse breakup here in the top cut. I mean, the fact that we've got a Doffy breaking into the top 4 again is absolutely crazy. And
For sure.
Doffy Treasure Cup, first 1 win.
Hey, that'd be cool. I mean, I'm down for it. Doffy's a sleeper deck. Every single time that someone comes up to me, including Pac-Man, who's in the chat right now, who's all caps right now, I've said Doffy is a sleeper deck, but you have to understand the matchups, and you have to be patient with yourself into the deck. And as long as you are, then you can win. You can definitely win. And it's so annoying to go against, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
I can only imagine what the mirror looks like too. So.
the mirror is too. I tried to convince them to put the mirror on the stream, and the guy said no, and I was like, okay, I understand.
I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
I think personally, there's a lot of very deep intricacies you can pull from mirror matches, but I can also understand wanting to see the diversity in different characters. So.
Sure, definitely. Diversity is always good, especially in a one-set game. I can only imagine how this game is going to look, a few sets down. Got to introduce some new colors and things like that for this next set, and then set 3 is continually, slowly trickling out, and I'm excited to see what kind of cool stuff is going to be made.
Lots of options in terms of what to play, what to do. We're gonna okay, so we will get the restrand and the reswing.
Wow. Okay.
Uh,
We're going 7.
On life, I have to assume.
I mean, I can't think of anything else.
It was a very just clear like straight hand, you know. So I feel like it has to be at face. I think we're trying to put ourselves in another situation again where we can just go for game.
Yeah. I mean, Matthew's hand is not looking like too huge, so maybe Nico's trying to be like, you know what? I don't really care about your board. I can't do anything about it. We're just gonna do whatever I need to do. There's only 2 cards in hand, so like, help me out here. Help me understand. You know. He can swing the kid into Pacifista if he thinks that the go face plan isn't great at this point.
All right. Yo, here's the straw sword. He's doing something.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means the swing has to be going to lead, right? Yeah, for sure.
There's no way there's no face.
For sure.
So now he's going to put him in a situation of like, hey, I'm going to try to survive this next turn. But this also means that I'm putting you to 1, so you need to win this next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a huge possibility. Like, Matthew's in a great spot. There's not, you know, we see Nico's body language as well, where it's like, I did what I could, so just let me know what you need. Help me out here. Help me understand where, what I need to do this next turn, because I have no...
Yeah, I mean, it's tough, right? Like that's what I was saying about the life buffer that Kid has right now. It's a flex. He has a ton of, like, he has the ability to defend. Well, he's got a few blockers. He's got ways to defend his kid right here. And then
yeah, but this that's a signal right there.
oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, that's like, I mean, he's got the 2 blockers, right? So you can block, and then you still need to get another hit after beating over it.
Yep. This is I hate to hate to bring like other card games and stuff like that, but you know, I've worked with a lot of casters. This is what people call winner space.
Oh yeah. When you're just on autopilot.
Yep.
And like just the math, because you know, like, there are times when like you got to sit there and you got to do the trigonometry, right? And the calculations come up. No, it's that flow. It's this goes here, I do this, this goes here, I do this, and that's when you know.
Yep. Exactly.
All right,
and
so
unless that Nico has 2 Nekos, which he's gonna see something here with the Bonnie, it's not really gonna do too much because
we're sitting behind 2 laws here with the health buffer. No, that's that. We're just calling it there. So Matthew Okimoto, blue Doffy, making it out into top 8, breaking into the top 4 here over Green Kid. But what a matchup between Nico and Matthew. And honestly, through that game 1, Nico still presenting what, like 1K off of lethal.
Yeah.
And then game 2, like, I think a lot of people have said certain things in regards to how the blue versus green matchup has gone. But here, we can definitely see that, you know, via establishing the right board and applying the right pressure and putting them in a position where it's like the entire game becomes about protecting the 8-drop, you can put yourself in a position just out advantage your opponent, and eventually, I think eventually is the key word there, break through for the win.
You know, the biggest thing was just like the comparison to board state, right? It was just like, I have this board, you have this board, let's compare, and I'm going to continue to play things that say no to your cards, and eventually, hey, you have 8-cost kid, but I have all of this other stuff, and all those swings, all those returns, all those bottom decks really just added up, and that's why Doffy is now, or at least should be considered now, a good deck, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
I mean,
really
based on its placements, its conversion rates, what we saw today. So, and like you're talking about board states, that was the interesting thing, where it's like the 2 boards couldn't tell 2 different stories. For the Kid deck, their board is basically a Voltron deck. I've got this one body, and the rest of my board is surrounded around supporting or protecting this one body. Whereas Doffy's board is like, I am just a bunch of answers and big bodies.
Right.
And like I'm just going to stand alone, chip away at you, and get that advantage. And that's eventually what did end up breaking through to get the win.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Overall, really good. Really good match. Matthew really showcased like, hey, this is this is my deck. I played it a lot, and this is how people should play it. And I'm super happy to see that. We might get him over here. Thank you again for over 800 people watching. Really big shout out to you guys. Thank you to George as well for holding it down. And I think we're gonna go ahead and get someone over here. Our winner over here, just to talk a little bit too. So we'll see you guys in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
All right, so we are back. Hopefully there aren't any mic issues. 'Cause we had mic issues before, so let us know in the chat. Either way, we are back with Matthew.
Yep.
With our top 8 win with Blue Doffy. Dude. Every single time, I was telling them, I was like, I looked away, looked back, and I was like, dude, this whole board is crazy. And like to play against the green kid, against his 8 cost kid, and like everything else, he was taking life all over the place. And we were telling him, like, you know, we've seen him play before. He's a great player.
Yeah, he's a very good player. Very good player.
Yeah, you just kind of went through it. So tell me about how you felt about that match.
Honestly, I feel like I'm pretty comfortable with green. That's like probably the deck I played against the most. I mean, I think everyone played against that deck the most, right? Everyone assumed that was the best deck to bring for the tournament.
Did you see the breakdown?
I did not see the breakdown.
Okay.
What's the breakdown?
There are 134 kids.
Holy cow, that's like a quarter of the tournament is all
Yes,
kids.
yes.
Wow.
It's crazy. But I mean, looking at you, you're one of the 3, you know, top 16 Blue Doffy players.
Nice.
Which is pretty crazy because there's
Represent.
again only 40 Doffy. So, yeah. Anyway, how'd you feel about that overall?
Honestly, it's just a grind. It could be anyone's game. Like as soon as he plays 8-drop kid, I'm just like, all right, well the journey begins. How many times can he stop 8? And I just keep shoving 8 at it, and then eventually, either he runs out of cards or my guys die and I die. So it's just well.
There, yeah, I mean that's what it seemed like. There was you had the Mihawks, right? So I think you double Mihawked as well in one of those games.
Yeah, almost. I think both games I played Mihawk twice.
Yeah,
because basically I didn't use my leader ability too much unless it was a very valuable card. I usually use like the Perona or the Doffys to search for the 7 CP Doffys, the Virgos, or the Mihawks, so that I can get those out.
Yeah,
because I need to get those out before he plays 8-drop kid. If he plays 8-drop kid and I have like a couple 5Ks in play, I probably lose that game.
Yeah. So you have to have a Doffy ready, a Mihawk ready.
Yeah,
and
some number of those, or pacifistas, because those I can just throw 2 down on those. So I need some number of those out by the time he plays 8-drop kid.
I was actually because we didn't see any Virgos. I don't think so.
I didn't draw
all the games. Yeah.
No, I used one as a counter, I think, for game 1. But
That's
yeah,
true.
I didn't have it. I only run 2, so I don't see him often. But yeah,
that makes sense. I think because I was thinking, I was like, he plays the pacifist line with Kuma, right? But we didn't see any Virgos. So I was like, does he play the pacifistas only because it's a 1 less than the Virgo? And you can just swing 6?
No, I play the Virgos too.
Oh, okay.
Didn't see it.
Okay, but I think I just made my own headcanon. I think that's what it was. Okay, cool. So the biggest difference I feel like, or at least the game changer, was the Mihawks, I feel like.
Oh yeah, you gotta have those.
Yeah.
Because if he plays 8-drop kid and you have like a decent board, he could still come back by just dropping Basil.
Yeah.
And then if you can't kill the kid with your dudes, Basil's killing your guys.
Yeah.
So you have to have.
I think you try to get 1 Basil out, right? And you just answer.
Yeah,
it?
every time you played a Basil, I tried to answer, make sure I had an answer.
Man, okay.
And
Well,
if you notice, he started pitching the Basils and the 7-drop kids because he realized like if he plays them, and if I have that, it just puts him so behind because he has to commit 7 Dawn for the kid or 5 Dawn for the Basil.
which is a lot. It's a lot, and that's just like his entire turn, which I don't know. I don't think that's just gonna be the case. So okay, we have what top 4 finals left.
What are the other 3 decks in the top 4?
I think Law. Another Doffy.
Oh, nice.
Luffy. That's still going on, right?
Oh, I play Law next, huh? Oh, whoever wins between those.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, he's the guy I lost to. Yeah.
For sure, Doffy, Luffy, and then Law Kid is the last 2 that are still playing.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Right.
Gotcha.
If you had to pick one, what would you go? Like, I want to pick that guy. Like,
I don't even know. I don't. Oh, to play. I would probably rather play the Luffy or the Mirror. Anything but the Law.
Okay.
But I'm pretty sure, based off seating, I'm playing Law next round. So we'll see how that goes.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'd rather play any of them but the Law.
Yeah, I feel it. Okay. Any final thoughts before we send you off to the realm of top 4?
No, just hopefully keep drawing good. I feel like I played a lot better that one than the previous Swiss round, so hopefully I redeem myself a little bit.
Dude,
but,
I mean, I feel like both matches were sick. I think there's a lot of like I was telling them, but like every single time someone asks me about Doffy, I tell them it's a sleeper deck. Like it's a deck that you have to be patient about, and you have to have patience for yourself and as well as the deck itself, right? And if you do that, you learn the matchups. You're good. I think you're Gucci.
Yep.
And you really have displayed that, so I'm really happy about it. So good luck in top 4, man.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. We will see you guys in top 4. We're gonna go to break real quick, and then we'll see you guys in a little bit.
Cool. Thank you.